If you guys want to see some of Dollar Tree's best blanks to use with your Cricut, then just keep watching. Hello everyone, if you guys are new, my name's Liz. For today's video, I have some Dollar Tree blanks that we are going to transform using my Cricut. These DIYs were so simple and easy, seriously 5 minutes or less for each of these. So if you want to see how you can transform some Dollar Tree items, whether that be for home decor purposes, or if you're wanting to label some items, spruce some of those Dollar Tree items up a bit, then this one is for you. And without further ado, let's go ahead and see how I transform these Dollar Tree blanks.
So for those of you who may be new to Cricut, it's a smart cutting machine that allows you to create personalized projects. Today I'll be using my Cricut Explore Air 3, which can cut hundreds of materials like cardstock, vinyl, iron-on, fabric, and so much more. You can use it with or without a mat, making a single cut up to 12 feet long. It also works with a software called Design Space that comes free with your machine. That's where you can upload your projects or create projects, or even browse from hundreds of images and fonts that are pre-designed and ready for you to cut. You just send the image to the machine and your machine does the work for you. So for this project, I went out to Dollar Tree and I found these round and square glass trivets. So while browsing through some of the designs, I found this creator that you can actually follow on Design Space. So I started following Diva Watts designs, and a lot of the designs that I'm going to be using in today's video came from her because they were so gorgeous. And I found this really pretty floral print that I knew that I wanted to use. So you can just click add to canvas, or you can save this so that you can find it again later under your saved images. I also typed in Mom's Kitchen and found a whole bunch of fun designs that I could use, and this one right here spoke to me. It kind of gave me that farmhousey vibe, so I saved that and added it to my canvas as well. And then once you have them the size that you want them, you want to make sure you are measuring your items and making them the correct size. I'm going to click on without a mat and then click continue because I'm going to be using some smart vinyl on this. Now for these, since you don't want the vinyl on top of your trivet so you can put other things on top, you want to put these on the bottom. What we're going to do is mirror our images. The flower one isn't super important because it doesn't really matter which way you have it, but for the ones with the words, you want to make sure that you mirror them so that when you put it on the back, you're able to read it when you flip it over to the front. So I am just going to click mirror, click continue. Now you're going to click on the material that you're using. I'm using Smart Permanent, so I can just click that right there, or you can browse all materials and find the material that you want to use that way as well. Once you've clicked your material, you're just going to follow the prompts that pop up. So make sure there's no tool in clamp A, there's a fine point blade in clamp B. Load your material and then press the load and unload button. Once it's loaded, you can press go on your machine and it will do the work for you. Once I have my designs cut out, I'm going to go ahead and weed my projects, and that is just removing all the negative spaces that you don't want anymore. Anything that you do not want to put on your piece, you want to make sure you remove, and I just used a little weeding tool to remove all those pieces. I added some transfer tape to it, flipped my trivets over onto the back, and then I'm just going to add my decals to each of my trivets. This was so fast and so easy, and I think that these are so cute sitting in my kitchen. It just gives, a little upgrade to your kitchen supplies that you probably already had lying around. I guarantee a lot of people already have these in their homes, and you can just add a cute little decal to it and just kind of spruce it up a little bit. I just think these turned out so cute. For this next one, another common item that you can find at Dollar Tree are these bamboo cutting boards, and I think this is perfect to make into some home decor. You don't have to use it as a cutting board. I'm going to use some Waverly chalk paint and moss, and I gave it one rough coat. I'm going to go back to my Cricut Design Space, click on my profile, and find Diva Watts Designs again. I'm going to scroll through her designs, and I found this really pretty mason jar floral one that I just thought was so cute. So I added that to my canvas. I measured out my cutting board and cut that one down to size. Again, just using some smart permanent vinyl. And I went ahead and weeded all of the negative spaces. Anything that I didn't want, I took off. Added my transfer tape. Now sometimes getting this off of the backing can be a little bit tricky, so just make sure that you're taking your time with it. One thing that I like to do is take my little squeegee tool or my burnishing tool, and I kind of help that to press down as I'm pulling that backing up, and that helps me a ton to get the backing off the vinyl itself. And then I'm just going to lay my vinyl on top of my sign, making sure that I'm using my burnishing tool to go over it so it's nice and stuck down there. And then I just remove the transfer tape, and that is it. So easy and simple. And I just love these kind of hand-drawn floral-y images like this. It's something that I'm really into right now, and I just think this one turned out so cute. Dollar Tree also has a ton of their school supplies out, and with that I found these large containers that I thought would be perfect to hold my vinyl scraps. So I'm going to go over to shapes. I'm going to click on a label that they have already in there. I'll click on my text box and I'll type in permanent, HTV, and removable. I changed the font to Bernard MT condensed, and then I just sized it down to the size that I needed it. Highlighted both of those and aligned it in the center. Next, I'll highlight both of those again and click on slice. And that is going to slice your words into your tag. All you have to do is cut those out. I cut these out on some pattern vinyl because I just thought these were too cute. And I'm going to do reverse weeding, which is taking out what you would normally keep. So I'm going to remove all of those letters, and you want to make sure that, you know, the middle of the P's and the O's, that those are staying there. You're not removing those, but you'll just remove, like I said, everything that you would normally keep when you're weeding. Take those out almost like you're creating a stencil, but I'm not going to be painting over these. So once I have it weeded, I'm going to add my Cricut transfer tape to it, give it a good burnishing on the front, making sure that it's all nice and stuck down to the transfer tape. And then I'll remove the vinyl from the carrier sheet, add that to the top of my containers, and then remove the transfer tape. And I did this for all three. I did HDV, permanent, and removable. So I got 3 separate containers. My scraps, they're everywhere and they're a lot. I have them in some IKEA Alex stores right now, and it's just such a mess and so not organized, and I don't even like looking in there. It gives me a ton of anxiety. So I went through and picked out all of my pieces that could fit in here and got it all organized so I didn't have tiny little scraps floating around, and this is a perfect way to store my vinyl scraps. For this project, I grabbed some of the ceramic pieces that Dollar Tree has, the circles, and I went over to Design Space and typed in "Home is my happy place," and there is this design already made for you. I love this, and I love that you're taking up the negative space and it's just a big circle, and it was perfect for those ceramic circles. So I added that one to my canvas, and then I also typed in "Home Sweet Home," and I found a very similar one, just a different design. I added both of those to my canvas. I measured those ceramic tiles that I had and cut those out. I used some colored vinyl. I thought these colors were so pretty, this minty green and then a peachy color. They are some of my favorites, and with this design, again, you're going to weed out the negative spaces, but the spaces that you would normally keep, and you are just going to take those out. I added my transfer tape, going to remove that carrier sheet and add them to the little tiles that I bought. When applying your vinyl, you don't want to lay it down the way that I'm showing you right here, because that created a ton of bubbles just going straight down. You want to start from one side and then roll it so your vinyl isn't getting a ton of bubbles under it. And then another thing with these ceramic tiles, it has those little holes where the jute twine was. Now I just took my X-Acto knife and cut in those holes so that I could string more twine through there. And then for the second one, I'm showing you the correct way to do it. go from one side and then gradually lay your vinyl down. That's going to make it so there are far less bubbles in your vinyl. And then you can always take your little squeegee tool and, rub out those air bubbles as best as you can. I'm just going to cut out those holes for my twine, add my twine back on there, and that is it for this one. So quick and easy, and I think these are so cute. I think you could put them on a tiered tray, add them to a shelf as kind of a side piece to go along with your other pieces of decor, but I thought these were too adorable, and the colors just screamed my name. I think these turned out really cute. Along with those circle ceramic tiles, you can get some tag-shaped ones. And for this one, you can type in farm to table and find this design. You can also type in home and find this design. You can also type in home and find this design. And if you can't find these designs that I'm mentioning in today's video, in my description box, I will have each design with the little number that correlates with it. So all you have to do is type in that number and that design should pop up. And I will have those all in the description box. So if you need them, check down there. So again, I'm just going to measure these to the size that I need them, cut it out on my smart vinyl material, and then weed each of your designs. You'll add your transfer tape to it. Remove that carrier sheet from the back if you have any issues. Use that squeegee tool as a little helper to hold down your vinyl as you're rolling it back. Then you can just add your vinyl to your tile tag and then pull that transfer tape back, and you have two really cute little tag pieces. Again, put these on a tiered tray, add them to a shelf, pair it with some of your farmhouse decor or whatever kind of decor you have, because you can choose whatever designs you want to choose to be on these tiles. I just think they're so cute. Let me know what you think about them in the comments. Another fun way to personalize Dollar Tree items, they have a ton of water bottles out right now. So I decided to let each of my kids pick out a water bottle and I could personalize it for them. They take their water bottles to school, around the house, to the park. And I wanted to have their names on it, especially because they tend to fight over their water bottles as well. So if each of them has their name on it, there should be no fighting. I hope. I'm going to go back to my profile on Design Space, click on following, and I found another really pretty flower on Diva Watts Designs. I typed out each of my daughter's names going horizontal, used the font Napoleon Slab, and then just centered that underneath my flower. I found some leaves in images and I added two of those to the sides, trying to make this look like a little sunflower with leaves, and the name would be the stem. You can attach these all together so that they all cut out all together as you see them on your screen. I also went to images and typed in dino, found this really cute dinosaur monogram, added my son's name to it, measured out how big that I needed each of these to be just with my measuring tape onto the water bottles, and then size them down to the sizes that I need them. I cut it out using my white smart vinyl, added my transfer tape to it, and then just centered them on each of the water bottles. And I think these turned out super cute. My son is loving his. He kept begging me for it while I was making it, so I had to hurry and finish it so that he could have it. And then I did the exact same thing with both of my girls. I just centered them as best as I could, tried to get them as straight as I possibly could, added those to their water bottles, and that's it. These turn out so cute. It keeps them from fighting over water bottles because now they each have their own names on them, and if they take these to school, they'll also have their names on them so they're not getting lost or confused with other kids' water bottles. Another way to make some really easy decor is taking these chalkboards that you can get from the Dollar Tree. Again, I went to Diva Watts Designs, found this really pretty design with some books and some flowers. I just thought this was adorable, and I thought it'd be really cute to go on my bookshelf that I have in my room. I cut that out using some smart vinyl, added my transfer tape, and then just transferred it onto my chalkboard. It is as simple and easy as that. This took me less than 5 minutes to do, and it cost me a little over $1.25 with that vinyl that I used. So cute, super easy. So as I mentioned before, Dollar Tree has a bunch of their school supplies out right now. So I thought, what a perfect way to add some personalization to my daughter's school supplies. I grabbed a pencil box, and then I also grabbed one of these other pencil cases. So I am going to go back to DIYS Designs again. Her designs are so beautiful. So I found this really pretty one that had a wreath in it and a text box in the middle. I added that to my canvas. Now I didn't want the established part in there, and you can actually hide that part. So what I needed to do was to create my own box inside there so that I could add my daughter's name to it without the established words in there. So I just took a square and I unlocked it so I could make it into a rectangle. I matched it up with the size of that other rectangle that was in there. I duplicated it so I had two of the same size rectangles. I took the second one on top of the first one, and I just started playing around with the size of it because I want this to just be a frame. I don't want it to be a full rectangle. Once I have it the size that I need it, I'm going to center those two rectangles, click on slice, and now I have a rectangle frame. I'm going to hide that established and that other rectangle, add my rectangle to the middle, center those, grab some text, type in my daughter's name, size that down, center it all, and then attach them together. I cut it out using my white smart vinyl. And then I also cut out another one of those water bottle decals that I made for my daughter to go on the pencil case. So I cut that out also in some white smart vinyl. Added some transfer tape to it, transferred it onto that pencil case, and then did the exact same thing for the other design and transferred that on top of her pencil box. I let her add her pencils and her crayons to them, and she was super excited to put them in her backpack. She kept asking, "Can I put these in my backpack now?" Told her she had to wait for a couple more weeks, but this is how they turn out. I think they're so cute, and it helps her prevent her stuff from getting mixed up with her classmates. I picked up a couple of these candles from Dollar Tree. I loved this minty color and it reminded me of fall. I love this color for fall. So I decided, you know what? In today's video, I'm going to do some fall things. Some fall and a little bit of Halloween. So I typed out the words harvest blessings in two separate words. I used the font Four Seasons, which is kind of a Ray Dunn type font. Not quite there, but it is pretty close. So I thought this was perfect. I sized these down to the sizes that I needed them, cut it out using some smart permanent vinyl, and I weeded these out, added my transfer tape, and then added them to my candles. This is so easy, and I think this is perfect for fall. I added some twine around the tops of my candles, just a couple times around, tied it in a double knot in the front, and then just cut off the excess. And you have two really cute candles that you could put just about anywhere in your house for the fall season. And I only spent $1.25 on each of them, plus the small cost in vinyl. So cute and easy. Another fall one for you. Dollar Tree carries these mini wooden cutting boards that I just think are super adorable, and they are perfect for your tier trays. I just took a little bit of washi tape and taped around that top portion a little bit below where that handle is, and I just taped all the way around that. I'm going to take some stain and I'm going to stain that top portion of my cutting board. This stain just came from Walmart. And I just gave that a good coat and rubbed off any excess stain that was on there. And then for the bottom portion, I'm just going to use my Waverly chalk paint and plaster. And I just gave that one good coat. I painted it on the front and the sides. And another thing that I like to do before I add any vinyl onto wooden pieces like this, or anything that I've put chalk paint on, I'll always put a good layer of matte Mod Podge on top of it, and it gives it a smoother finish for that vinyl to stick to. So that's what I always do whenever I paint my pieces. Again, I found this design on the DIYS design page. I cut out the pumpkin in this really pretty teal color and then added the black welcome fall on top of it. I just put that down onto my piece and removed my transfer tape, and I have this really cute fall cutting board. I love it. I added a really simple bow using some lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree. Just tie it like you would your shoes. I dovetailed the ends of it and hot glued it to the base of that handle, and that's it for this DIY. Again, so easy. I can't stress that enough. All these DIYs are so easy to do. And this made me so excited for fall. I can't wait. Let me know if you're excited for fall DIYs. Dollar Tree also carries a whole ton of wood pieces, whether that be long wood pieces like this, or you can also find some square wooden pieces, which I picked up. I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint and ink, and I gave the entire thing one good coat of that paint. Now again, before I add my vinyl to it, I'm going to take my matte Mod Podge and I'm going to give this one good coat of that to give it a nice smooth finish so that my vinyl doesn't have any issues sticking to it. I'm gonna go over to Divine Watts Designs once again, and I am going to use, it's all just a bunch of Hocus Pocus on this one. This design was so cute. So I cut this out on some black permanent vinyl. I added my design to my piece of wood, and look how fun this is. You could put it on your tray on a shelf. I have it next to some of my black candlesticks that I've made, and I just think this one is so much fun. So for this one, I'm going to add some text to a spoon rest that I found also at the Dollar Tree. Now this probably isn't food safe, so this is just going to be for decor purposes, but I thought Spoon Me was the cutest thing, and I added that to that spoon rest, and I'm just going to set it next to my stove to be out for decor. And I just thought this was absolutely adorable to be some cute little kitchen decor. You could put really just about anything in the middle of there and put it on your counters or put it somewhere in your kitchen to display on a shelf. This is something that took seriously less than 5 minutes, super easy, and I think this one was really fun. Dollar Tree carries a whole ton of galvanized items. I picked up this big mason jar. I went over to Diva Watts Designs and picked out this really cute design that she had. It says, "Life is better in the garden." So I cut that out using some black permanent vinyl. I went through and weeded my design. Now I accidentally made this a tiny bit too big, so I cannot stress enough, make sure you are measuring your items over and over again so that they are the correct size when you cut them out and when you are adding them to whatever piece it is that you're adding them to. So I just added this straight onto my mason jar, made sure it was all nice and stuck down, and removed that transfer tape. I took some of these florals that I actually found at Michael's, but you could use florals from the Dollar Tree if you wanted. I just took a couple of these off of the bouquet that they were on and then hot glued all of them down to the top of my mason jar. That was it for this one. I love how easy these ones are because the vinyl sticks so well to pieces like this. So any kind of metal or galvanized item that you can find at Dollar Tree is perfect to add some vinyl decals to. Now for this one, go to Dollar Tree, find some books that are all the same size. A lot of times you can find multiples of the exact same book. You are going to pick these up. Now this DIY I did for my very first crafting video I ever did here on YouTube. So this one is kind of old, but it is still one of my favorites using Dollar Tree supplies and some Cricut vinyl. So I took those books. I'm going to take the front cover and the back cover off, and you also want to make sure that the spine is also clean from the covers as well. I just took my hot glue. You are going to glue your books together. You want to make sure that you're adding glue right next to the bindings of the books so that the fronts are all nice and stuck down together and they're not kind of falling apart. These were some of my best sellers when I was making and selling my crafts. I had so many orders of these. People loved them and they are so easy to make. So I added a little bit of white paint to the top and to the spines of the book. You can also go through with some antique wax and antique your books if you wanted. I did that a lot as well and people seem to love it. I took some Dollar Tree burlap ribbon, hot glued that to the bottom and just wrapped it around the side of my book. I also took some white string and wrapped that around on top of the burlap ribbon several times, just over and over again, and then tied it in a little bow at the top. You can put whatever kind of greenery and and florals that you want on top of your book. These are just some pieces that I had laying around. And then I cut out the words, "This is us, more family, established 2014. You could do each one of your guys' names. You can really do just about anything. I've done lyrics to songs. You can put whatever words that you want on this. So now another trick to get your vinyl to stick to this, because it is paper, is adding some Mod Podge onto the spines of your book. That's going to give it a nice smooth finish, and your vinyl will stick a whole lot better to your book doing it this way. And you have this really cute book stack. I absolutely love this. Like I said, I used to make these a lot for customers when I was making and selling my crafts. And so here are just a couple of examples of the ones that I used to do. I just think that these are adorable, and it's a super cheap way to get that farmhouse look. Now, Dollar Tree carries these travel size shampoo and conditioner bottles, along with a cute little loofah and another little container that you could probably put some face lotion in if you wanted. But I thought these were great because you can't really tell the shampoo and conditioner apart if they're just stained like this. You know, both lids are pink. How are you supposed to know which is which? So I'm going to go to my Cricut. I typed in champ and cond because if you do the entire word, that makes the letters very, very small. So I just abbreviated it as best as I could, added those to each of my little bottles, and that's it. You have labeled shampoo and conditioner bottles for $1.25 plus cents in the cost of vinyl, and you're ready for your next travel trip, and you're not accidentally washing your hair with conditioner. Dollar Tree also carries a ton of these chalkboards with the cute little wooden frames around them. I'm going to paint my wooden frame with my Dixie Belle paint in Vintage Duck Egg. I just gave the entire thing one good coat. I went back to Diva Watts Designs, picked out one of her absolutely gorgeous floral and jar designs, weeded that out, added my transfer tape, put it in the center of my chalkboard. That's it for this DIY. I love the simplicity of this piece. I love the florals and the jar on it. It's one of my favorites. Dollar Tree carries these wooden planks, one in a smaller size, one in a larger size. I believe the largest size is about 18 inches. I picked that one up and I took some wood filler and put it in the holes of the top where that twine used to be. Obviously, I need to get some new wood filler because mine's all dried out, but I filled those in so you didn't have those holes anymore. I took my Vintage Duck Egg chalk paint from Dixie Belle, gave that entire thing one good coat, went back to Diva Watts Designs. Again, I told you the majority of these designs are from her because they are just absolutely gorgeous, and it saves me so much time from trying to design things on my own. You don't have to design things if you don't want to. Cricut Design Space has so many options, and this saves me so much time on choosing pre-designed pieces. I cut that out on some white permanent smart vinyl, added it to my piece, and that's it. If you want to check Cricut out, or you need any information on any of the designs, or want some links to Cricut, I will have everything linked down below.
And that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know which project was your favorite in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe before you guys leave. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Also, ring that notification bell so you're notified for each of my videos when I upload them. And that's about it. I hope that you guys have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.